I wanted to talk about how to play modally when it comes to a progression. When you're actually playing chords, when do you use specific modes? Like, when do they come in handy? What do they even mean? What are the modes? We're going to talk about that in a minute. Now, the modes of the guitar can be easily remembered by a kind of self-defeating acronym in a way. I don't particularly like modes a lot. That stands for Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, and Locrian. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, I'll explain a little bit. But basically, they are different ways to lay out the major scale. Now, what makes the mode different is the root of the actual scale. Typically, your basis for all of this is the Ionian scale, or your major scale. Now, everything I'm going to be playing today is going to be in the key of G, because G to me is easy, and it rhymes the best. Though I suppose C rhymes pretty well too. But when I think of modes and scales, typically you're going to go off of your root on the 6th string. If you take your power G formation, or pretty much the first inversion of it, and you try to line up your mode into it, it sounds like that. The very first mode is Ionian. Now, if you're playing any song where your root starts like this, you can use that mode. It's pretty easy. So with a normal progression, say G, C, D. When you're on G, there you go. All I'm doing is I'm finding that root, matching it up to actual mode, and just going along with the scale. Now, there's a lot more complicated things you can do, but if you want to just get into the habit of using your modes, that's a great way to start. Now, I'm going to have the actual scale right here somewhere in the editing. We'll do that in post. Now, it will take a while to explain every single mode and all of the ways to use them. So today I just really want to focus on one, Ionian. You can take your chord as long as the root of your progression, you're using that F formation. The Ionian mode is going to be your go-to. And this will work for a lot of progressions. Like anything like that, or it doesn't even have to be that. All can use Ionian modes when you're soloing. If that makes sense. Now let's talk about the notes of the mode specifically. Now this is imagining it in G, but it's movable. Guitar is movable. It's very easy. If you have a capo, it works. Like, if I had a capo here, this would just be E, and then it'd all be based around, that E stuff. It's easy. Now, 3, 5, 7, 3, 5, 7, 4, 5, 7, 4, 5, 7, 5, 7, 8, 5, 7, 8. So, it's the same thing for 2 strings. 3, 5, 7, 3, 5, 7. That's your E and A. Do, 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 do. Then 4, 5, 7, 4, 5, 7. Finally, on your B and E strings, it's 5, 7, 8, 5, 7, 8. That's it. That's your scale. Now, if you want to build up speed, that's a practice. That's an exercise I do a lot. but you could do whatever you want. Those are your notes. That's how like people shred. You want to know what to shred over? Shred on that. It sounds good. You're playing something that actually has value rather than doing whatever. You got to make sure your notes matter. They should make sense. Even if you're playing fast, what you're playing fast has to be good. So make sure you at least are playing this. If you're playing any song in the key of G, you can use the Ionian mode. It just so happens that as a guitar player, that's really easy to find. However, if I was going, I could still do. Still works. Now, once again, I imagine I'll have a screenshot of the mode right there. But basically, that's how you can think modally. If, for example, instead of G, the song you're playing is in the key of A, this is A Ionian. If you just want an introduction to modes, that is something I highly suggest. Now, if you are like a real beginner, this stretch might take some time for you to grasp. My advice, keep your arm like this. Make sure it is bent. Make sure your hand is relaxed. Because if it's hurting, you're doing something wrong. And then you can do it on F. Doesn't matter. Your hands will get more stretchy. Just practice that. And then, anytime you're playing something in the key of G, you can use your Ionian mode. And this is a million songs. Now, this is more or less an introduction to the Ionian mode specifically. I can do a lot more talk on modes. Every single way you think about a chord extends. This is like 101 for modes. Now, if you're thinking in pentatonics, that would be the relative pentatonic for this scale. That's Aeolian. That is Aeolian if you take notes out of it. It's not Ionian, it's Aeolian. So Aeolian scale would be that. However, we switch it up because normally we just kind of break that down and that becomes your pentatonic scale. So all of you are already kind of thinking in modes, you just don't know it yet. Now, when you're playing your pentatonic scale, you can add those notes to it and it starts to become more flavorful, more based upon a larger melodic idea. Instead of then once again, that's all still based off of your major scale. If you just take the time to really understand all the formations of it, it'll pay off in the end. For example, if I'm thinking in G, the next formation of G, and then you can keep going. Take the time to learn your neck, but this has been an introduction to the Ionian mode and how to think modally and how to actually use them. If you enjoy this content, let me know. If you'd like me to teach more lessons about modes, let me know. I'll probably do a lesson on each one, but this was a quick flash of all the things you can do.